Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Helen Campbell, and for many years I was a staff interpreter with SCIC, and I have now retired, and I've come back to talk to you about food application revolutions. Yes, that is my subject now, and I'm going to start right away. So, a food app revolution? What is that all about? It's a common enough sight in most cities. Young men on bicycles and motorbikes with boxes on their backs marked Uber Eats or Deliveroo. And most of them take absolutely no heed whatever of traffic regulations, I've noticed. So I steer clear of them. But delivering food, now this is a big business nowadays, especially for the millennials who have not much inclination to cook and probably not much time either. It's an expanding market as well in Europe and in Asia. But is it such a big deal? In fact, yes, it is. This sector of on-demand personal service, so that's meals, rides, even massages, all of this amounts to a cultural revolution. And revolution happens in the streets. So does this one. Recently, in London, there was also a protest outside the Uber Eats office. Why was there a protest? Because the rules had changed. The basic rate for delivering each meal had been cut. Now, this tends to happen. These platforms do treat their drivers, couriers, and so on as self-employed contractors and not as employees. So they can change the terms any time they like. And that is, after all, the nature of the gig economy. What's the strategy? The strategy here is to offer meals as cheaply as possible, so that the cost per delivery goes down, the companies compete with each other, and the aim is to push the price down so far that you can persuade clients to stop cooking at home altogether. Well, could that be? Is that possible? Well, there are those who say, yes, it is possible. After all, you can compare this app-based delivery with people buying ready-made clothes in shops or online, rather than making their own clothes. It's all about supply chains and mass consumption, and home cooking just might go the same way. Now, of course, an on-demand meal is an attractive thing. Many people live in small flats with small kitchens. They've little time. It's much easier to order a meal in than prepare it in your kitchen. However, there is a cost. It's estimated that a two-person meal from a UK restaurant costs about £19 sterling on average. Compare that with buying the food and then cooking it at home. The cost on average will be £6. And how should it all work? Well, you need a cheap and flexible labour pool. There is one, for example, in New York City, where there are some 80,000 app-based drivers. There are no employment benefits, no sick pay, no paid leave, so labour costs go down. But it still does need some refining. Restaurants tend to be dispersed all over a city. They're not all together in a hub, for example, the way Amazon works. So the couriers have to travel around to pick up the meals. Now, some companies are looking at a possible solution here and are already building up cooking centres in car parks, for example, so that the meals can be then prepared centrally. The client then orders a meal, might wish to choose meals from different restaurants. These meals will then be cooked in adjacent kitchens and delivered by a single courier. Does that sound a bit futuristic to you? Well, there's more to come. The ultimate cost-efficient possible way of making a real success out of this story is this. The cost-efficient dream is of robots cooking the meals and drones delivering them. So no more human beings, no more fuss about labour, no more fuss about working hours. That's how it might be. But of course there is a human cost to this, as with all revolutions. What about the drivers? What about the restaurants? So there are some serious concerns too. And it just might turn out that this dream could just perhaps become a nightmare after all. Thank you.